What's up, YouTube? I'm here with Twitch. We over here kicking it, and you're missing out because you're not subscribed on www.twitch.tv/InfernoOmni. You're not here. You're not here. You could be. Stop missing out. Stop missing out. Anyway, we're going to watch a video. It's called Gunnar Namakan Grummz Part 2. If you guys do not know, we already watched Gunnar Namakan Grummz Part 1 by this YouTuber by the name of MLYP. Mans is an IRL anti-hero? Villain? I don't know what he is. He's an enigma. Dude is pretty wild. You know, he's like, I guess the best way to put it is he's a character. And it was a great first 40-minute video talking about this dude named Grummz. Grummz. You know what? I'm going to assume that you watched my previous video. I'm not going to give you the recap. I'm assuming that you watched the previous one. And if you didn't, you have, and then go back, because there's no point re-explaining this. It's like when those recaps are for the animes, and you're like, all right, get on with the recap. We get it from the last episode of Dragon Ball Z. Rah, 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 rah. No, you don't need all that. You don't need all that. Anyway, Gunnar Namakan Grummz Part 2.
Was it the intro on part?
Said, oh, it's the introduction stuff. This is literally the part that I was talking about. Okay, so he's probably just covering what was talked in the last video. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to monetize it. Because that's what we do here. We monetize up, we monetize drama. But also, again, shout outs to MLYP. We'll be putting his link in the description below as well. Apologies this took so long. I had a lot of stuff going on. It was meant to be out weeks ago, but I had to confirm stuff in physical courthouse too. Damn!
I'm going to quickly address feedback from part 1, then we'll dive right into it. First bit of feedback was that the intro on part 1 had bad audio. I'm sorry, I'm merely an oaf with a microphone. You're now listening to a new one. Second piece of feedback was that I'm cringe and soy. I'm aware. However, the first person I saw calling me that was a VTuber with a jester/octopus mommy MILF avatar, so I'm legally and contractually obligated to say the call is coming from inside the house, Miss Splatoon.
Damn. Wait, is he talking about what's her name? Is he talking about Marina? Callie and Mari? Is he talking about Mari? Mrs. Splatoon? Did he just go on the... There's no way. That was the description. I gotta make sure. Hold up.
/octopus. The first person I saw calling me that was a VTuber with a jester/octopus mommy MILF avatar, so I'm legally
Mommy
and
MILF?
contractually obligated to say the call is coming from inside the house, Miss Splatoon. Also, there was a guy...
Oh no, it was a mommy MILF of Mari from Splatoon. Ah, that's nasty. Okay, he right. He right. Yo, Tipomaniac. Hey, how are you? Staring right back at you. Freaking terrifying Kappa. Anyway, okay, he's still going. Let's continue. Again, reminder for those of you at home, I'm going to stop and pause for very random reasons, okay? It's better this way. It's better to consume content this way with me because it's much more interesting than just watching the content itself, okay? So enjoy the ride. Some of y'all at home be like, I mean, just watch the video. Just watch the video. You do too much reaction. Just steal other people's content. Like, no. I have to add commentary, okay? Damn, I have to add value. Real value, okay?
Guy with like a Transformers smoking a cigar. We're all involved in a video about a man called Grummz. Have some self-reflection, I guess. Third bit of feedback was that I look like Timu Hassan. Thank you. Fourth, why didn't I take this to a journalist or TMZ? Firstly, I don't think TMZ would want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And secondly, most games journalists are happy to ignore Mark. He was actively trying to get in front of the story anyway. So while I tried to convince a journalist that I don't really have a connection to cover it, Mark would have already had control of his own narrative. So if you are a journalist wanting to do something about this, everything's in the description and you can contact me there as well.
Do I count as a journalist? Like I kind of do, right? No. Journalists are the ones that pull a story and then but they try to get it from the source, right? Journalists. You guys ever seen how journalists are portrayed in news, like back in the days in the 80s or 90s? They're running around newspaper places trying to get information and then write up a story and put it on the newspaper, right? Those are the true journalists. I am a person who reads the journal. They have credentials and contacts. Yeah, I think I am just a person who reads the newspaper and goes, what the fuck? Huh? Oh my God. Get a look at this, guys. Get a look at this. I'm that guy. Wow, that's weird.
And finally, the intro in part 1 was way too long. Yes, so let's get started. Mark Kern is a liar and a fraud.
Okay.
I want to make it clear there's no insane smoking guns like highly illegal pornography or murder here. This is a deep dive into some more of the financial irregularities from Mark's end. Some legally interesting things he's done around his companies, and also some thoughts and questions about exactly how much of a fraud he is in all aspects of his career. So let's get into it. Grummz had kind of scooped part 1, emphasis on kind of, because he had an awareness that something was happening. He was so smug about it. He went on a live stream with one of the most nightmarish blunt rotations I've seen in recent memory. Part of the reason I dangled a part 2 out there was to see what he'd try and deflect and what he wouldn't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately for me, and unfortunately for him, this stream gave me a lot of sound bites to talk about that people aren't going to be aware of because the stream's now locked behind a members only.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
piece.
Yeah.
You got nothing, and you're gonna get 0 views just like you always have for your entire duration of your YouTube campaign. And you know what? You're getting an FBI report next week. I'm sorry.
What?
It's 4 hours of what I would charitably call Cocomelon for capital G gamers, and I don't think anyone who isn't brain poisoned should watch it, so let's pull the highlights.
Guess what, guys? I did softcore porn, and I started when I was working on World of Warcraft.
Wait, okay. Where are they? Who's talking? Did we just jump into this? This looks like people who are reacting to. Okay, these are people who were reacting to part 1. Okay, because this video right here is part 1, and it looks like they're reacting to the video, and inside here is a bunch of people from different. I don't know. I can't tell what their names are. Yellow Talk Guy on X, and I guess some other people as well. So that's kind of where we are right now.
And I made a bunch of money.
Indulge me as I start with this one, because this is factually incorrect. We have a backup of every Wayback Machine page archived on foxyfighter.com. There is 100 plus archived milk and milking references in this content, along with a death and blood tag. Varied interests there. We have the literature he wrote where his alter ego, Debbie Chan, violently abused a woman with the same nickname as his wife. And we found some video that he killed the woman with the same nickname as his.
I ran up and grabbed her legs, spreading them wide. What the heck? Oh my God, wait a minute. This is not just a sex. This is aggressive sex. Oh no. Okay, so I thought this was just like they were just doing it. So I'm reading here. It says excerpt from Cat's Bar written by Mark Kern. Debbie Chan assaults and sexually violates a character he named after his wife during a cat fight. That is disgusting. Oh my God. Okay, so I thought it was just some type of like bow chicka wow wow sex kind of like talk where they're just, he's just doing that. He created a story and his character assaulted and sexually violates his wife? What type of sick? Oh no. Oh, that's sick. Guys, think about this. Okay, you're not thinking about it. You're not comprehending it. Are you comprehending it? Some of you are, and then some of you is still not clicking. Okay? Imagine that you write a excerpt of your wife being sexually assaulted and violated. Like, I could understand this goes like a step above cuckoldry. Okay. Some people, when it comes to cuckoldry, they're like, oh, okay, this person likes his woman to get sex. He likes the shame. That's fine. We're okay with that. Okay. We're okay with cucks. That's a legit fetish. Okay. Whether you like it or not is legit. This, well, now I'm going to question legit fetishes, but this fetish takes it to another level because he's writing sex stories about his wife. Does she even know? Does she know? If she knew, then it's okay. I think if she knew that he was doing this, then this would be okay. It would be still a very strange fetish, you know, but it's consensual between the two parties and they're both like, hey, this is part of the fetish. This is the fantasy, right? But if she did not know, then that's what makes this very weird when you write a fantasy about your wife. Does he not love his, what is going on? What is going on?
His wife. And we found some video that he commissioned and produced. Well, either produced by him or he paid to produce. His own posts out him as commissioning fights from a custom porn company called Double Trouble.
I've started to write and produce videos and having them filmed at DT Productions. First fight is a rough tit fight dominance match between Tanya and Carter. Just posted a blog entry with video clips. This nigga was a gooner. Oh my God, he was gooning. This man was spending, you know what, we talk about gooners, you know, sometimes we just think of guys, people who just go online, you know, girls, do a little quick fap session and leave, right? This man was 24/7 gooning. Like, woke up. Let's do some porn, some Foxy Fighters. Let's do some fan fiction with my wife. This man's gooning. You think you're the gooner? I thought I was a gooner until I started seeing this. This man is the gooner king. The king of the gooners. Like, if there was a tribe of gooners, my man is like, he's awakened my eyes to a level of goonery that I did not realize existed or that I forgot. Like, it makes sense now that some people are so lost in the gooner sauce that, you know, that they keep exceeding. They keep growing in goonerism. They keep one-upping their goonerism. This guy is the general, the elite goon, the gooner general. This man deserves a very high spot. If there's a gooner empire where there's like a gooner leader, my man's, he would be definitely a high-ranking official, if not the king.
This was on a site called Heavy R. Heavy R is known for hosting extreme and graphic videos far outside of mainstream. So this is real-world violence, highly graphic material. You will not find...
Examples are eating shit, sticking a firecracker up the ass, and more awful stuff. Oh, Grummz. Oh, you know what I just thought about? You know what I just literally thought about? For me, from my point of view, when I look at this, right, I think, you know, this is pretty bad, right? But what if you are a part of the Gooner Academy? What if you are Gooners right now, like watching this, like, oh man, Omni judging me right now. I'm a Gooner. I might be more Gooner than him, right? And so when you watch the video, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. He's just a Gooner, just like me. Can't fault him for being into this stuff. While other people are like, this has a lot to say about your character. which brings me to question to you guys here, just for briefly as a recap. Does him being a gooner, does that make him a better or worse person or neutral to you guys? Is the fact that he's a gooner a plus or a negative for you guys? Just curious, because I feel like the way that you can look at this, depending on your perspective, people might think differently. If anyone's going, they need to get off the internet. Again, I think so far, I know this is crazy and I'm being open-minded. The only part that would make this gooning weird, in my opinion, is if his wife had consented and they were both on in it. Okay? That's how I feel. If they both were into that freaky fantasy fanfic type shit, then that means that was consensual between two adults. For me, though, if she's just a product of his own fetish, that feels wrong. That feels wrong. We need to shame mainstream again? I thought that's what we've been doing. Isn't that how we got Sonic? We've been bullying these niggas forever, ever since we got social media. We've been crashing out on these brands. We're talking about the most divorced dad, though. You know, his wife wasn't into this. It's hard to say. But I think if it's consent and his wife is in on this, I think I'm okay with it. Unless someone can present a different evidence, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. But if he's not, then it changes the whole thing on itself.
Find this video on a more mainstream site.
A firecracker is crazy though.
Uploaded it, but it's one of Foxy Fighters. There's definitely others, and likely not even the most extreme video.
Diana Knight is again the mistress with the most, and her pets this time are Shayla, Crystal Summers, and Tylene Buck. Yes, this is the same mistress and pets you so enjoyed in SF007, but this time they are even more into their sexual pleasures. Mistress Diana wants her chained pets to fight for her affection. No, she demands they destroy each other for her. These are heavy chains the ladies are expected to fight in, but they do as ordered, savagely go for annihilation, all to the taunting, cheers and delight of Mistress Diana. Affection awaits the victor of each struggle. That affection, baby. Your affection. Your affection. Your affection. Sorry, that was just for the Persona people. Okay, if you don't get that one, you're not living a healthy life. All right, get on game. Affection awaits the victor of each struggle. Affection that goes beyond mere kissing. Yes, these ladies are stroking and grabbing each other in the most stimulating of areas. Well, stimulating areas. See I'm sorry, guys. I'm going crazy. This is making me very giggly. See the destruction that befalls the loser and the satisfaction that is bestowed upon the victor. The sexiest pets you will ever see, and like all good pets, they only wish to please their master. So just sit back and enjoy because you are the real master. This man was playing Pokemon. This man was playing Power World before we were playing Power World, bro. This man was he was already there. The original furry. The OG furry. The first furry.
Video. We also have it on DVD. By the way,
who was the first furry? There had to have been a first. Probably the first human that wanted to have sex with a fucking dog or an animal. Never mind. The first furry probably goes back to it might have been Adam. Adam might have looked at some of these animals and thought, maybe they can get it. Right? There had to there had to have been, right? Like, if Adam's probably one of those thoughts was like, man, I'm doing it to this thing. Should I be doing it to that thing too? You know, there wasn't like other people to compare it to. There was just, when you think about it, she was the only human. So no one gave him the rules and instructions to only have sex with one species. I'm sure there's YouTube. What if Adam was I know I sound crazy. I know I sound crazy, but what if Adam was the first furry? I need to do a YouTube. There's a whole YouTube video. I need to look it up. Bestiality started at Adam. And you know what? You know what's even crazier? I think Adam would be like one of the only times where bestiality is actually okay. Okay? And hear me out. The reason why is because he doesn't know who it's not like there's only one other person. There's a woman. It's like if you went to an alien, right? An alien place, you didn't recognize any of the different species, right? You didn't recognize any of them. So you're like, well, they're all things. You know? So I feel like I'm making sense, but we'll see.
It's called Tylene versus Shayla, and the description is: two women wrestlers are chained together in the ring and have a real...
Yes, being human does not come with an annual. No, see, look, now I'm born in society. We were born in society of humans. We've been taught to have sex with humans. But what if you were born before any of that was taught, bro? You just had a penis. What would you do if an orangutan started throwing that thing back on you? What you gonna do? Say no? We're like... What you gonna do? You gonna be like, well, this is enticing. Do not clip it, bro. This is supposed to be between. Stop trying to get me canceled. What's wrong with you? Why y'all trying to get me? Let me be crazy in peace. Let me be crazy in peace.
Busting fight, and loser winds up with
Coochie was coochie
beaten to a bloody pulp. Not softcore. This is the part that I feel people took issue with from some aspects. This is not just a guy making Guna material. This is a guy making highly abusive material.
This is why people in the gaming space think if you're looking...
That's the same guy that was talking about it. This is the guy that was hating on, what's her name? Shit. The YouTuber, Christine? No. She's the white girl that does all of the tech reviews and the gaming stuff. Justine. That's the guy that was going on iJustine. Oh, man. So now we're just at the... Oh, man. He's a meanie. Guys, he's a mean person. You know, we're on the nice side of the internet. He's a mean person. And then the people who follow him are all mean too. Hey, fuck these niggas specifically. God damn. Do you guys think that you guys are mean? We haven't created a mean community here, right? Like, I think some of us can be mean, but I feel like we have a community of like, you know, we ain't mean like that, right? Or some of y'all really mean and I don't know it. I assume that we all have the kind of similar mindsets. Did you see the wedding video on Twitter? No, not yet. We can see that next. It's okay if you're mean. I just wanted to check. Can we turn it up? Yes. It's okay if you're mean. I'm not trying to judge you for being mean. I wouldn't judge you for being a gooner. I don't judge. We listen. We don't judge. You didn't help an old lady across the street? You know what? You helped her. She got some exercise. Congratulations. Your Twitch watchers are way worse than YouTube watchers. Yes. Yes, you niggas are a special breed of y'all are different. YouTube, I feel like, comes from a place where they kind of ha ha ha. You guys are like lively weirdos.
Looking outside and you're looking into the game space.
Interactive
people think
weirdos.
Everybody's fucking weird because there's gaming and tech writers who have fucking fantasies about the ridiculously awful things that were just said. These people give all gamers, everybody who plays games, everybody who covers tech, everybody on the internet a bad fucking name.
Thank you, friend of the show, Stuttering Craig. He's not a friend of the show. Hey, look, that's Yellow Flash guy, the guy that most of the other clips are on. This is from a completely different, irrelevant beef, but just want to make sure.
Pause. By the way, I do encourage you guys to clip. Okay, if you got, I encourage you guys to clip. Go ahead and clip. I always say don't clip, but I encourage you guys to clip. I want you guys to have freedom of expression. Okay, go for it. I'm okay with it. Just in case you thought that I was playing.
Sure, everyone's on the same page here, right? We're all going in the same way. Who am I kidding? Hypocrisy doesn't matter to these freaks. And there are going to be people on both sides of the spectrum, of the political spectrum, being like, so isn't this sex work? Isn't this kink? This isn't kink or sex work. This is a man who has effectively done financial fraud to fund his porn business on the side. That's my big contention here.
I am the Hugh Hefner of Blizzard. That's what they got 20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago, I'll give him that. Look, Foxy Fighters was first active in 2001, the same time he was working at Blizzard. It was also 15 years ago when you sold catfights.com to John Femfight. Insane username, by the way, I'm stealing that at some point. 14 years ago, 2011 as well, Foxy Fighter joined Quora, which you followed on your other Grummz account for some reason. Debbie Chan, you made a Reddit account where you fish in a strip club DJ's AMA on Reddit, asking if when strippers fight, a boob's a favorite target, and saying you'd put stilettos in nasty places. I don't want to say that's typed one-handed, but this was all around the time you were running Red 5 Studios, a studio where you have a lot of baggage around financial mismanagement, disappearing for...
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not that he's a gooner, is that his gooning ruined work. Okay? This is crazy detective work. So what he's trying to communicate is that your gooning was... You were literally channeling... Using your work to grow your gooner empire. And it was in a way that was unethical because you're essentially extracting in order to create your own big thing by you're not even like breathing life into the other things that you're doing anymore. You're letting it fail. You're stealing. It's unethical gooning. Quite literally, it's in law books. When you goon unethically, gooning is inherently wrong, as is all natural human feeling. But when you use gooning to hurt others, that's where the problem is. Amen. Can we all say that gooning is not a problem if you're not hurting anybody else? Can we all agree to that? I think. In fact, you might be able to use your gooning to make the world a better place, to help other people. You know? No, wait. Now we're getting to the conversation of OnlyFans. OnlyFans is gooning. And if gooning is objectively okay, then that means that OnlyFans is objectively okay. And I know that some of you guys have an opinion where OnlyFans is fine, and some of you are like, no, I don't think so. I think it's not as good for the humankind. Ooh, now we're getting into... Ooh, now we're talking about things. We're talking about things I might have to pick aside. It's actually not that too as well. There's one more thing before I hit play that I want to tell you guys. It's a specific fallacy. I forget which one it's called, but you guys have to be very careful because it's the most common manipulative tactic out there on the streets that you've probably got by many times. It's the fallacy where a person tells you that there are two options and it's only one or that. It's either this or that. It's one of the biggest fallacies of all time because very, very rarely in situations are there only two answers. Very rarely. So when people use it very often, and I say, you got to be careful with that one, okay? Don't let that one slip above your heads, all right? The fallacy of, I don't know what it's called, but be careful with that one.
For weeks at a time, and then coming back and tearing up the work that was done while you weren't there.
Yeah.
It was also 10 years ago when you were actively recruiting for filming in 2016 and selling the clips on Clips for sale.
False dilemma,
and then
thank you.
It was 4 years ago when Ember Production is on a hiatus with no meaningful updates. You try and bring Foxy Fighter back with those stories I mentioned about Debbie Chan violently abusing women. This is after you'd already taken money to crowdfund Ember, by the way.
Ooh.
And you, dear listeners, you get the point that I'm laying down here.
I forgot he also crowdfunded money. Oh, he got people to pay for his goonerism under the guise of video gaming. That's like if the people at Five Nights at Friday Night Funkin', we've been crowdfunding them, and the reason why the game is taking so long is because they're gooning. They're using our money to goon. Can you imagine if your money went to foxyfighter.com? You're like, yeah, I can't wait for this new game to come out. That money was being used to buy a $5,000 camera so that he can record sex fights and record out violent fanfic. That's where your money actually went to. Man. What a statement. What a thing that I am interpreting from the mouth of MLYP. Because I don't know if any of these things are true or false. TM. So everything that I'm saying are assumptions based on things that I don't even know are facts. And just my opinion. Just want to put that out there.
This is a man who has a 20-year pattern of taking money to do one thing, but going off and doing his own weird porn side hustle with the money. That's the contention I have here. That's what I want you to understand. This isn't just kink on the side. This is kink, but using money he's taken from other ventures to fund it. That is fundamentally fraudulent. That's what I'm getting at. That is my contention here. I also have questions about the involvement of his parents, because this actually lines up incredibly well with the tax fraud he's also done.
Oh my God.
So Lunar Ride asks in the chat, did Mark pay his mom as CEO of his porn company?
Actually, no, not for CEO of the porn company. She does work, as the accountant, as the financial manager for my current company.
So this is the part that confuses me a little bit. Your mother was the...
He paused. So he paused for about 5 seconds and said, actually, no. Which means I feel like those 5 seconds was him debating on whether or not he should tell the truth or not. If it was just the truth, if you just had the truth in the answer, you could be like, you would answer immediately. But that 5-second pause before answering it makes me feel like he was, I don't know. Then again, it could have been a question that was already pre-planned in this, but I don't think so.
No, as the accountant, as the financial manager for my current company.
No.
CEO
of his porn company.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
not
see
for
that?
CEO of the porn company.
There was a good delay there where it feels like it might have, I don't know. Those pauses, I think, are pretty important to consider when you think about the context of the question. Yo, Zandalorian, do you recognize me from a YouTube video? It's because I make YouTube videos. Welcome to the stream, brother. You're actually on a YouTube video right now. In the future, because it's going to be made into a video. Do you think he could have saved his ass? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
A little bit. Your mother was the CEO on paper, but not paid. Suspiciously around the time you got that previously mentioned
I did actually, yeah.
massive lien from the state of California. She was just doing that out of the goodness of her heart, but also being the accountant, but CEO on paper. I'm just trying to make sure I've got that. And while I'm on the subject of your mom, why did you know off the top of your head that what year and month she was in Playboy magazine?
She was hot, man. She was hot.
So is that something that is like cool to explore, or is that something that you'd rather not?
1967 the year before I was born, Christmas edition, and I talked to my mom about this, and she's totally cool with it. If you want to go find that issue and find a section called Women of Asia, she's in there, and she would actually appreciate it if you actually talked about that and posted it. She would get.
I do like the Asian women.
Oh my God. She's the Gooner mom. He's the Gooner's son. Literally. He's the son of the OG OnlyFans. He's the son. Is this what we're birthing? Is this OnlyFans birthing these Grummz? Oh no. Is this what society has done? Is gooning? Is allowing of the gooning creating the Grummzes? Oh no. Oh no. Et tu, Brute, OnlyFans? I'm pro sex word. So I'm pro sex word. But is some of the sex work creating Grummzes? They're becoming too gooner. No, he's too much of a gooner. Okay. I think that you can appreciate a woman who goons in the gooning industry. And I think you can appreciate her at a temperate level. And you can just get from it exactly what you want to get from it. I feel like Grummz, again, because he's a super one, he takes it too far. He's compulsive and he wants to go to the ends of the earth of the gooning. Like he's a scientific gooner. If you think about it, like he would actually be somebody who would lead a college that would teach you how to continue to evolve into goonerism. He's deep in there. So he's a scientist. He's a professor. He's a philosopher of gooning.
If I knew this about my own mother, I would probably be as badly adjusted.
Also
as
weird call,
is,
yes.
And
also telling people to go to see your mom's sex work, that's crazy. And then just being open. If I knew my mom did it, like, I wouldn't be like, hey, friends, y'all want to see my naked mom? You know what I mean? Like, I would not do that. I'd be like, yeah, mom, do what you gotta do. I love you. Bye, right? I wouldn't be hitting up my homies and being like, you want to see my mom? This mom had a mom. Oh, he's nasty. He's nasty. He's nasty.
while we're on the subject of Playboy Bunny mums, this makes the 3D model of the Ember Bunny girl with a Playboy Bunny outfit so much weirder. Anyway, moving on, I just want to point out that that's just kind of weird. Let's talk about the Firefall bus.
Okay.
Grummz claimed in this tweet that his bus was cool. His bus was cool and far more useful than the South of Midnight bus. And I'm not here to judge which bus is better. The part that sticks out to me is that he says it saved him millions from an E3 booth. And look, a lot of people are gonna hyper dunk on Grummz for the bus.
That's the bus?
What you're not understanding is that if there's anything famous for maintaining its value, it's a poorly modified bus filled with computer equipment. Luckily, until this bus was made, we'd never seen what happens when you combine both. This is the real capstone of Mark's time.
Wait a minute. It's a bus that lets you travel and play the internet? Like, you can, like... Is this like a League of Legends? Like, you can play League of Legends and LAN games? Like, computer bus? Or... That actually sounds amazing. What the hell? Like, let's say you wanted to travel with the boys and go somewhere across country. Get the boys in. We all play League of Legends while someone's driving. Then after a game, rotate. Oh, that'd be crazy. They need to put that in Teslas. Anyway, I think I'm cooking. But is that what this bus was about?
The CEO at Red 5, the infamous Firefall bus. Look at it. It's perfection. I get...
Bus is his own data center with racks of servers. We hook it up with LAN. That's what he does with LANs.
The vision, a modified vehicle turned billboard that would travel across the country.
Could you imagine if you got into a car accident? Imagine driving that bus and you crash a $1 million data center. That's crazy. Why would you expose so much to so much?
to host localized competitions for your Firefall esports. Like, definitely a thing that was going to exist. This thing was stuffed full of the latest computer tech and had hydraulics that let it expand so you could fit more people inside. Reportedly, the bill from West Coast Customs was about $3 million.
It's a $3 million bus? How much do buses cost? $3 million bus. That's crazy.
And you say this bad boy saved you money. I found probably not the most ideal source. It's gamesindustry.biz. A 600 square foot booth at E3 around this time cost $10,000 a day. So for a 3-day event, that's $30K. Add in your booth fit out, labor, and incidentals, that shit starts adding up, right? Your own budget for the E3 you skipped for the Sopa Piper protest at Red 5 was $50K, by the way. So fuck it, let's make it $200K a year. Were you planning to bring this same bus to E3 for the next 15 years? Let's include the other events that cost pennies on the dollar compared to E3. It would still probably... I want to ballpark it at about 10 years to make this money back. We're not even including labor costs. Brand ambassadors aren't cheap. I've paid for those before. And what about the cost of an inevitable refurb when a neckbeard spills a drink on the...
Okay, wait. How did he get the money to buy this bus? Is he in massive debt and he's been using gaming projects as ways to funnel money and raise money? Is that what this is? Is he trying to insinuate that he's been crowdfunding fake gaming campaigns in order to pay back this bus? Ooh, that's stealing. That's stealing. Like, imagine I get you guys and we crowdfund $1 million. And I say we're going to crowdfund $1 million, and I'm gonna make a game, okay? And then I take all your money and I only use like 10,000 of it to make an incomplete game that failed. Oops. It failed. Sorry, we tried, guys, but it wasn't successful. Oh my God. That's a way to steal a lot of money from a lot of people. Especially how to use your that's how you can use your fans. Oh my gosh. Man, that's really bad. That's not good. If that's the case. There's been concepts of the game being released, but everyone says that it doesn't look like it was like good. Anyway, let's continue taking notes, right? But so far, the insinuation of this entire thing is pretty monstrous.
The keyboard and seat. Maintaining those hydraulics costs a pretty penny, most likely, and we'll need to upgrade the computers every few years as we go through graphics creep. Plus the cost of moving it everywhere. The bus didn't work and had to be towed everywhere. How much towing is that going to cost? I have it on good authority that the air conditioning in the bus failed so quickly in the E3 parking lot that people couldn't even get inside. It overheated the computers. If there's anyone smarter than me that can make the math work, please do so in the comments. Mark always tries to claim that, oh, they're saying there's no demo for my game. There is a demo. I'm gonna put footage of it on the screen. Your backers know there's a demo. No one's disputing this, aside from people refusing to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I want to be charitable to Mark. The demo kind of exists. But this is just another woefully mismanaged game for about the third game in the row. Like, come on, homie. You released a updated build for your vertical slice, and I want you to imagine air quotes around vertical slice because it's not really that has a specific meaning, but you're using it to pull the wool over people's eyes. This was shortly after Goononomicon Part 1 dropped. Before this, well, this is what the female model looked like, and this is what the male model looked like.
Oh my God.
Claimed these are bugged, and this will eventually be fixed. The keyword there is...
He promised this? And then this is what came out? That's crazy work, bro. That's like saying, like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use this paint and I'm gonna make you a Picasso painting. And then you come back and like, hey guys, it's been 9 months of me painting, and I get like you a little tiny stick figure. I've used your $1 million of donations to make the Picasso thing, and I made this nice stick figure for you so far. That's how far I've gotten. It's a scam. This is not even close to this. What do you mean? You were not capable. There's not even any pointy edges. Everything is circular. Didn't even get close.
Eventually, you've had these models for a length of time that can be measured in years, so I feel like that argument is invalid. What you've actually done is remove the ability for players to leave their mech suits to cover up your shortcomings. Aside from that fix months and months ago, this whole new build, months of work, consisted of adding 2 new models that you made more than half a year ago and took 6 months to texture, replace 1 gun on the mech suit, slam a bunch of Unreal Engine store assets in to replace any white boxes, and turning the skybox purple.
Listening to that conversation just made me realize, wow, there are people who go on the computers and make texture. Like, they texturize the internet. They create digital assets. Like, you know how you can shape things in the real world with like metal and wood and stuff? Like, they do the same thing. They're the carpentry of the digital world. Oh my God. Graphic designers are the carpenters of the digital world. Has anyone ever said that statement before? Because I feel like that's the first time that sentence has ever been discussed. I think I just made that discovery of that concept, but that's so cool. Just listening to him talk about it made me think, that's interesting. I feel like I would like that. No one has ever put it that way. I agree. I think this was a first time statement. I think if I tweeted it, it will be an OG. Don't steal my tweet. Now I'm going to tweet it. No, I ain't going to tweet it.
The contention is Grummz is fundamentally incapable of
You can have that one for free, okay?
working on the game without an outside source
got stuff to
pressuring
do
him
here.
into it. Until recently it's been, this will be a big year for Ember. I'm making a tabletop RPG for Ember. I'm
Thieves!
working on the novelization
That's what
for
Grummz
Ember.
is, bro.
I've got to retexture this model I promised 4 months ago for Ember. If Mark promises a timeline, you can double it and probably correctly guess the right timeline. Ember started crowdfunding in 2017.
Okay.
He told people he needed $60,000 in 6 to 8 months, so it would be Kickstarter ready. It is now 2025. We are nearly 8 years later, and it looks like this. This includes a 2-year break where he continued to crowdfund while not working on the game, and he only started up again when people pressured him into it. Is that not fundamentally criminally fraudulent behavior?
It feels fraudulent.
I'm not the only person bringing this up. There are other YouTubers and content creators doing so. You can look at what McDizzle is digging up and what Nazmir is putting out. They will have links in the description. It's not just people with microphones and platforms. It's your own backers at this point. To help this along, I'm going to walk people through a detailed look at Ember's production timeline and exactly where you failed to live up to your promises. I'm going to start this in May 25th, 2016. Kern goes on the Firefall subreddit telling players to kill the game. Firefall was still alive at this point. It wasn't doing well, but he wanted them to kill the game so he could buy back the IP for cheap.
Okay.
This was the same year Mark had basically self-inserted into the Bring Back WoW Classic petition, and he'd somehow managed to leverage clout off something that he had next to no involvement with, but he spun that into the Make Ember petition. He's a petition hog. So on June 27,
petition a
2016,
lot,
we get
yeah.
our change.org petition to make Ember weird to convince yourself. He says he's
Yo, do these petitions actually work? Pause. Just wanted to ask. Like, I've just always assumed that these petitions usually are just like, oh, please, here's our, but I've always assumed that it doesn't work. Because like, that's my biggest assumption. But if you think about it, let's say you have a fan base of 1 million people and 700, 800,000 are like, petition for you to change the soundtrack or remove this. Then you're like, wait a minute. Why is 80% of my base petitioning for a change? Maybe it needs to happen. You don't know a single was canceling of Sonic, was that a petition? With the original Sonic, when we bullied the internet, did we create a petition? Did it work? And then if not, what's the point of a petition? It feels like the point of a petition is to bring notice to a concept of certain people, to bring a certain group of people together. It's like almost to create a community of Echo Mind people. No, listen, there's a reason for it. It's not, you got to think about it this way. Mark Kearns, if he is the person that people are saying he is doing this stuff on purpose. He's playing 4D chess. He's trying to scam and get money. So he's doing petitions for a reason. There's no way that he actually believes in the cost, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. He seems like a lot of people called him a tourist. A lot of people feel like he is grifting. And he's pretending that he exists in this space. And he's pretending that he actually cares. And he's using people who do care. And then he is masquerading as one of them so that they give him money for something he doesn't even actually support. Because what he truly supports is gooning. Now, can he support both? Yes. But by purposely, I'm just basically explaining grifting to you if you don't know. But by basically pretending he can crowdfund money from one group to do the thing that he actually wants to do. He has to be grifting. He can't like both, because if he did like both, then he would actually be using the money to make the game. That's what I think. It has to be for the gooning, because he's not actually using the money for the game, which means it's not about making the game. It's about taking people's money. You know? Am I making sense? Am I spitting? I think I'm spitting.
Was using it to see how much demand there was, but it's still weird that you'd like petition hog yourself. On June 30th, 2016, the Foxy Fighter Patreon goes live with peak earnings just below $50 a month at launch with 6 paid members. Sorry, wrong business.
So when oh my God, when he was petitioning, he was also on the same day petitioning for his Patreon. This man has been trying to take funds from people. Like, imagine you doing that both at the same day. I'm going to raise funds on this account to take money from people. I'm going to do a whatchamacallit, a thing here to raise funds. I'm going to do a petition on the same day, right? If you look at it as a person who just needs money, he's just doing things that allow him to funnel money from people. Damn. I just realized there's people who do this as a living. I just realized, I remembered, I just had a visual thought of my a family member. And all they do is figure out how to steal money from people. That's all they do, is figure out how to get over on people, how to extract. Not in a way that's legit, not like, how do I trade time for money? How can I take money from other people in a fraudulent way? Damn. I mean, I get it. If you think about it, there's a lot of people who are poor. Capitalist society creates a society where there are going to be people who are born poor, who don't have resources, who are going to become fraudulent, right? Ooh, fraud is such an interesting concept. It's such an interesting concept. Do you guys believe like if you're fraudulent but you come from a poor community is the same as fraudulent but being extremely rich? Do you think it should have the same punishment? Does it have the same punishment? Is it based on how much is actually being? Now I'm curious. Sorry, I'm just having a sidebar of fraudulence because like a capitalist society that keeps poor people poor by design would also have those poor people more than likely commit fraud and steal in order to survive. Oh my God. Stealing and is a crime for poor people. Am I cooking or am I like, am I missing something? Please, do you see what I'm saying? No, do you see what I'm saying? Am I cooking or is it stealing is a crime designed to punish poor people? Because the incentive to steal is usually to come from a place of not having something that someone else has. So if you think about it, people steal things from people because they can't create it themselves. So stealing usually comes from not being able to acquire the thing themselves. And when it comes to stealing objects, you can just buy objects. So if you have money, you have less incentive to steal. Scarcity mindset. I think stealing was always a crime exclusively for the poor and disenfranchised. Yes, some people only steal because they're assholes, but some people steal because it's a system where poor people are poor and looking for money and they don't have the resources. They got to figure out a way to survive. Stealing is quite literally a survival mechanic. If you think about it from like the animal kingdom, these niggas are stealing all of the time. But in the human world, we're punishing it. I guess we need to punish it in order to create society. We can't just have people stealing from people all of the time. But a byproduct of creating stealing as a crime is that it destroys the people who need to steal in the first place to survive as a survival mechanic. Because people are going to, if people can't find the resources and it's not available, they're going to steal. They have to survive. Yeah, so poor people steal to survive. Damn. They do need to understand the exact reason because like at the same time, the same time, even if you're poor, then people say, are you poor because you're not working? Like, have you tried working and it failed? There are some people who are just lazy and they're just like, I don't want to get a fucking job. I would rather just steal. So the people that I was talking about in my family, they were lazy. They were able-bodied humans who were capable of getting jobs in a place where jobs were being offered. But they just wanted money faster, quicker, and they were lazy. So not necessarily poor, but just wanted to make money without effort. Because that's what stealing does, right? Like when people do that, it allows you to have something without the effort of creating that thing that goes behind it. Some people like stealing. Yeah, people do like stealing. I think it's an actual like thing. What's it called? Kleptomaniacs. But stealing is a natural human. It's natural. Like if you think about it, like the animal kingdom, right? These niggas steal. I don't think stealing is inherently bad, but if we're going to create a society that functions, then stealing has to be criminalized. Because we cannot have this world that we live in. We can't have a society where niggas are just allowed to steal shit. That would be very bad. Okay? So although stealing does this thing where it punishes the poor, we also just need it. And it just so happens to make it just what it so happens to do is it does make it easier to be rich. The question is, was criminalizing stealing done to make rich people rich and poor people poor? Or was it done to help society function and then it happened as a byproduct? It was like the cons of it. Or both. If it's both narratives. Oh! But this is kind of universal. I feel like stealing is universally banned even in non-capitalist societies, correct? Stealing is just universally seen as not allowed. There's no country that says stealing is legal. You want to steal a car? Well, here, yes, you can steal a car. I don't think it's legal anywhere, regardless of the type of. My ex-husband and his twin and the kid stole food stamps from their mom because any money she got, she spent it at a bar. So you got parents who are using the resources to not feed you. Oh, man. I mean, we are stolen property if you think about it. We're stolen property? Aren't we just creations of our own mothers and fathers? Were we stolen? My uncle, one is all and all is one. We're all connected. You guys know that, right? If you zoom. Oh, ADHD. If you zoom out all the way out, we are all little microcells running around like a cell. Okay? We're this. This is what we are. Zoom out far enough and we are nothing. How can there not be other universes if you think about it that way? This is Full Metal Alchemist. You think about it. How can there not be other planets? If you zoom out far enough, you and I can be the size of a dust particle that you see on your screen right now. Something that you're looking at, like little tiny, that can be the size of us in the grand scale of a much, much massive. I think Ant-Man kind of explained this concept by them going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. They discovered universes, but they were just really fucking tiny. Do you think that's air you're breathing? You're breathing universes. That's what Morpheus meant by, do you think that's air you're breathing? The realities, there's got to be universes. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm spitting. I'm sorry. We got off of Grummz. I'm not sorry. But I feel like I'm saying some crazy shit right now, and I need to be a scientist of the mind.
Run by your mother. July 6, 2016, you launch an Indiegogo campaign for Ember, forums, website, and art.
Keep drinking. There's nothing.
That is a nice and respectable $500 goal, raising $3,065. And I think, to be honest, you can make a forum for like $20. And as a forums lover, I respect the fact you made a forum in 2016. They are a dying breed. Props to commissioning an artist. I will give you that. Time advances to August 29, 2016. A second Indiegogo campaign hits the crowdfunder's wallet with Ember, massive planetary wargame, wage full-scale war against alien kaiju in a massive co-op shooter. This one has a $5,000 goal, eventually raises $23,000.
Damn,
you want to
he raised
build
a lot of
3D
money.
and design assets, really take Ember to the next level. Your deliverables are pretty respectable, to be honest, like grounded and simple, which is what we want for a small developer. The main goal of this milestone is to create the fully textured 3D model of the Thumper mecha and create an illustrated design vision book that defines the game. One thing that I need to point out is the Thumper is basically a side activity from Firefall. It's a side quest, like a world quest in World of Warcraft. He spent 8 years trying to remake a World of Warcraft world quest as his vertical slice, just to put this into context. You're promising this is going to be in a white box test environment, engaging, I guess, and if someone stumps...
This is some crazy detective work. If this is true, this is crazy detective work. Crazy.
Up enough money, they will get the model to make their own 3D printed bust. We're getting there, it'll be playable. I do want to flag a note here where you say, currently each milestone is designed to be funded and delivered in less than 2 months. So we're going to skip ahead to milestone 3. The third Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign closes on July 5th, 2017. Not quite the pace we wanted, but it was funded for $114,000 between Indiegogo and PayPal donations. This was off of $20,000 goal, so we're 3 from 3 on overshooting funding goals, which is nice work. Like, Mark's pretty good at raising money, I will give him that. I'm also not going to hold a slight delay here against you yet. Game dev is hard. And Mark, look, he's delivered his first 2 milestones. There's a slight delay to milestone 3 starting, it's nothing major. Unfortunately, this is where things go off the rails. Grummz promises a playable mock-up in 6 months, Kickstarter for the full game a month or 2 after that. Obviously, the $114,000 doesn't go that far, because on July 24th, 2018, you start offering upgrades to milestone 3 backers as a limited time offer until the Kickstarter later this year. And later this year slips past, and the whole year does. Debbie resurfaces on freecatfights.com.
This man is the fucking Kira. I'm sorry, he's L from Death Note. This man is literally L from... This man is going online, connecting the dots. He's got, oh my lord, figuring shit out. You remember in old movies how they would take a whiteboard and they would be like, slap. So we've got this here, slap, and we've got this here, slap, and then we've got this here. What does it all mean? This man's got his own chalkboard with the string connecting the dots. This is what this dude do. This is what he did. He connected it. Why would he do this when he did this? Bow, boom, 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 connect. My man's is that. That's him. IRL, right here in the flesh. This could be a movie.
And ask if there's demand for the
To Catch a Gooner.
return of Foxy Fighter. We love to see a well-rounded man with hobbies. On Jan 28th, 2019, we get our first playable mock-up of Ember.
Welcome to another video update for Ember, the Mech vs. Kaiju MMO. The first actual gameplay build of Ember is now available for download. The movement demo features our medium Omni frame running, jetpacking, and gliding. This is a huge update for us, as this is the first time you can pilot the Omni frame. Fans and backers were thrilled with the fast-paced and fluid movement, switching between running and
This dude wastes tons of time and mental energy on bullshit. Not gonna lie, this shit's kind of hard to watch. Still here out of morbid curiosity, as the scrub is an example piece of what not to waste yourself on. Wait. This dude wastes tons of time and mental energy on bullshit. Not gonna lie, this shit's kind of hard to watch. Still here out here. Were you by him? Do you mean MYLP or do you mean Grummz? Still here out of morbid curiosity, as this scrub is an example piece of what not to waste yourself on. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean Grummz. Because, yeah, I just was making sure. The G dude? Okay, just double checking. Okay, yeah. Grummz is wild. Grummz is the type of person who literally leeches off society to feed his own perversion, if this is the case. If that's the case, he's just stealing from people who want to make video games. Be cool. in order to feed his true, oh man. That's disgusting. And that's the thing. The problem right here is like, okay, there's a lot of people like Grummz in the space, right? There's a lot, which means there's probably a network of fucking grifters who are like, how are we going to steal more money from this community? I would imagine there has to be groups of people who come together to figure out how they can steal money from a community. I have to imagine not everyone's operating solo here as a grifter. And there are like but then at the same time, if you grift and you get caught, it's bad. It's like VTubing. Being a VTuber is like being a grifter. Because if someone finds out your identity, and some people just put their identity out there, or if someone can prove that you're phony, then the grift is over. The grift is over.
Jetting and dropping glider pads for those Firefall memories. Backers can download this now at my.ember.com. That's spelled E-M-8-E-R. And subscribers now have access to the previous terrain build. For more video, be sure to watch our Twitch channel, which streams every Thursday. The link is in the description. We've released 2 builds in the past month, starting with our tropical themed terrain build earlier this month and culminating in the movement demo. This is a record for the Ember team and a sign that things are heating up as we get closer to Kickstarter. Expect new builds of the game at a much faster pace.
So 3 crowdfunding rounds in, upgrades, and next step is a Kickstarter. Let me just check in on how the Kickstarter went, and well, we're coming up on $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in funds raised. It's really opaque there. But there's still no Kickstarter in the year of our Lord 2025. How are your backers taking it? Not great.
It's not great, Indy.
I want to highlight one particular backer that stuck out to me. His name is Mad Dog. Mad Dog has donated close to $700 to Ember. He has unfortunately lost hope, and he's been losing it for a while, even as far back as 2021. He was concerned, wanting to know when we might get to an open alpha or beta. As of writing, he's at least 75 years.
This is a very well-researched video. I feel like this guy is like, he's basically backing up all of his claims with lines of reasoning, and the lines of reasoning then are also connected with additional support. So then when you ask yourself the question like, well, you know, is it that bad? Is that what's happening? Well, yes. Come look at his backers. Come look at what they're saying. Oh shit, it's really that bad. It's like he keeps connecting the dots in a way to make his claims look stronger and stronger. Hence why FBI seems to be something that he's truly pushing for, because this isn't just a video to try to cancel somebody. Okay? This is not a cancel video. This guy is trying to catch a criminal in action, saying that this is criminal activity, and this YouTube video, the combination of these two things might put Grummz in jail. It might. But he's trying to contact the authorities.
Years old, and he's been strung along for close to a decade over something that's still not to the state you said it would be at the end of 2018. I'm going to try and put aside the fact we're on wildly different sides of the political spectrum and approach this hopefully objectively. If this timeline and neglect was done by any other game developer of note, Mark would be pissing, shitting, and crying on Twitter that it was a scam. That's not a particularly partisan opinion to hold. If there's nothing that Mark Kern takes away from this video, give Mad Dog his money back and a sincere personal apology that you failed him. You have taken $700 from a 75-year-old man desperately trying to recapture a time when he was happier. And it's fucked. Anyway, back...
Okay. 75-year-old man was trying to... Oh. I didn't even think that some of his supporters were probably people who could be naive. For some reason, guys, you have to understand there's a lot of naivety on the internet. Naivete. Right? You might look at this and be like, this is clearly a scam. I'm not giving money to this dude. What the fuck? Then there might be a 65-year-old dude who's like, I would really like for this this game to come out. It would make my scratch it off my bucket list. Let's do it. Let's put in 1/10 of my bank money in here so I can see this become a thing. That would be a dream of mine. And now this 75-year-old dude, what did he even say? Guys, I started following you guys around 5 years ago when this thing started up. I've downloaded about 5 or 6 of your demo packages. When exactly will this when will this start beta testing? I know building a game from the ground up is a major task for you guys, but you have more skins to download than anyone, in my opinion, would ever want. I've purchased $500 to $1,000 of packages, and I have nothing to show for it. My ROI is actually 0. How about some major demo that allows us to farm and build mats up in the same type of game FF was? Anything would be nice. Sorry, but I'm just being honest. Did I make a mistake? I guess only time will tell, but time is running out in my opinion. Oof. Lord have mercy.
Of the political spectrum and approach this hopefully objectively. If this timeline and neglect was done by any other game developer of note, Mark would be pissing, shitting, and crying on Twitter that it was a scam. That's not a particularly partisan opinion to hold. If there's nothing that Mark Kern takes away from this video, give Mad Dog his money back and a sincere personal apology that you failed him. You have taken $700 from a 75-year-old man desperately trying to
Okay, guys, you know how I like to remain neutral in situations, and I try not to jump to conclusions so that I can stay objective. I think I'm reaching the point where I believe that Grummz has done the things that this person is claiming. I think I'm starting to believe it. Okay, I think he has done a lot of work over these past 2 videos, and his first video was already good. And Grummz didn't do much to kind of disprove what was happening. In fact, I don't think he disproved any of it. It's just his word, but I don't think he has like documents, testimonies. He's not presenting anything. Nothing. And then this guy's like, well, here's another video, by the way, exposing him for all these things, and he doesn't have anything to refute it. It's so much evidence versus 0 evidence. And if there was ever a time where I guess you would decide to choose a side, like if I'm always trying to fence sit things for a little bit to see how, this is the place where I'm saying I believe MYLP. I think that his logic and reasoning is this, and I do believe that Grummz did the things that he is saying. I think I have enough evidence. As a judge, I've seen enough evidence, okay? Grummz has missed too many QTEs. I'd have to give guilty.
Capture a time when he was happier. And it's fucked. Anyway, back to dunking on a guy I don't like for political reasons. It's now 2025. The promised playable build is, like I said, freshly updated as shortly after my last video. There's been one other tiny update since then. All of your white box assets have been hardly replaced with store assets. Your 2 kaiju models that took you 9 months to skin don't even acknowledge the player is there half the time. The water doesn't work. You can walk right into this. I know this because I played it. You're watching my gameplay footage right now. This is not Kickstarter ready. It is very far away from being Kickstarter ready.
MYLP, was he a former Grummz supporter who got done dirty and now he's exposing him after being his own victim? I don't know.
You're promising 13 builds this year in your first chief chat in quite a long time. You're now 6 years overdue, and how many thousands of dollars in subscription fees overdue? You were taking subscriptions this whole time while giving people, removing the ability for people to cancel them, which is actually a crime in California. You're letting people cancel them now, but you were doing.
Either this guy was a former Grummz supporter, or this guy really, really loves exposing fraud. One or the other.
Crime. You were selling one-off founders packs, like the ones you tried to entice people back with a few weeks ago. The subreddit for Ember, who don't like you anymore.
False
thought
dilemma.
that was a bit bold.
Fallacy.
And to be frank, if I saw this as an early access game on Steam, I would be suspicious it was an asset flip. I think every single person financially involved with your venture deserves financial transparency.
You trying to sleep?
Speaking of financial transparency,
What is the non-profit people are asking about in the chat? What is it?
I have no idea because I've never founded a nonprofit. And this is why I'm filing a report with the FBI.
so firstly, I haven't seen Kash Patel yet, so I don't think he filed that report. Also, that's factually incorrect, Mark.
We need an organization, one that speaks for us, one that's willing to defend gamers' rights. That's why I founded League for Gamers. League for Gamers is an independent, non-profit advocacy group for gamers and like-minded developers.
This man is a company maker, a petition getter. He knows how to extract cash. Woo! Which is crazy. He makes so many things that are empty, but they could have been real. But he gooned. Like the things that he's talking about had actual money support. If he had actually used the money to do the things that he was trying to do, he might have made more money. It wasn't even about having money. It wasn't even, for him, it wasn't about being rich. It was about just having funds to goon. He didn't even realize that if he just invested in the things that he's talking about, then he would have had more money that he could goon with. He didn't think about the long-term gooning gains, only short-term goon gains. But if he would have played the long run and done everything legitimate, raised money right, created the product, Power World, this man would have made so much money he could drown in the goon legally without stealing. He is a drug addict. He's a drug addict, stealing money from people to consume a drug. And that drug is fanfics of his wife being sexually assaulted, amongst other cat fights and bestialities. Listen, short-term gooning gains is crazy, but it's true. It's true. You could have gooned way longer and way harder, my friend, if you would have just went legit, but you only saw, you only saw the short-term future, and then you used the money to goon out of compulsion. This man had a compulsive porn addiction, correct? He could not, but his porn addiction was only short-lived dopamine. And then his porn addiction was so bad that his porn addiction became his normalized day-to-day. How do I feed myself more porn so that I can make my purpose in life better? How can I feed myself? And then what happens is when you have a porn addiction, you need more and you need more. And you get to synthesize, and then you need more and you need more. So if this man got all the way up to the fanfics, this man was lost and deep in the sauce of the gooner, and that shit gets deeper than that. And once it gets deeper than that, then it gets he just gooned. He didn't possess the BBC gene. Okay? Literally did not possess the BBC gene. Because if you possess the BBC gene, in my opinion, you would never fall down this goon line. Low tier God is never missed. Okay? No BBC equals anger is like the ultimate answer to every question. I love you too, Angel. I love you too. You better love me.
At this point, team, if he says something...
And I don't want you to love anyone else. I want you to only love me. I want your love for me to be at the highest. I want you to value me the most in your life. The way you walk on your earth to earth, I want you to put me at your top. Do you think that there are certain content creators, VTubers, that make people fall in love with them to that extent where all they can think about is that person? Ah! That's what VTubing is! Can you imagine being 13 and being like, my favorite person in the world is Markiplier. He's my favorite and I think about him every day. And then you just steal the minds of these kids. You steal the minds of these kids. Is that what Mr. Beast did? He successfully stole a generation and put himself at the top of their brains. Oh my God. But not just kids. He did it to the entire world. He first started with kids, with content that only appeals to kids. And then he branched out to steal the minds of the world through great content. Through great content. That's what you did. I've been watching you since middle school. Oh, I did that? Oh no. What we have here, what we here do is go back. What you and I have is not parasocial. What we have is a friendship. True friendship. I am your best friend. And you're my best friend. And we can be best friends. Okay? We are best friends. We don't have to be best friends. We are best friends. You and me. And I love you. I love you more than your parents love you. I love you when no one else loves you. I'll love you. Don't have any love, no self-worth, no self-esteem. I love you. I'll take advantage of your lack of love. Oh, this hurts. Oh, this hurts. Is anybody getting Akira. You get a little bit of PTSD if you let. Oh, this one hurts if you are a person that has low self-esteem or you don't love yourself. This one might hit you a little bit harder. Even if you have a little bit of voids in loving yourself, like let's say you're average, this one can kind of hit because you understand that when you have a lack of love, but you have a content creator who's saying that they love you, you gonna buy it. You're for survival mode. I've been responsible. I've been trying to be responsible, a responsible content creator. But why don't we just go full parasocial? Mask off. What's the worst that can happen? Let's all go into Delulu simulation. We're now in the simulation where you guys love me the most. Is it really that bad? I feel like we would have a good life. Don't make you smother in a hug. Back shots. Stop. What is wrong with you? We're talking about Grummz. Why are you gooning? Be like the dad that you never had. Exactly. Oh my God. What role shall I fulfill for you that you lacked growing up? Uncle? Cousin? Brother? Father? Boyfriend? I'll be it. With Omni AI, I'll be whatever. I'll be your everything. Bombastic side eye. I'm cooking. I'm sorry. Let's get back to this. But I'm telling you, like, phew, I am a chef.
And doesn't have like 3 separate pieces of evidence to back it up. More fool us, I guess. Here is the State of California documentation showing that League for Gamers was founded by you. You might notice it's a not-for-profit. You might not have heard of League for Gamers, and that's okay. On Jan 18th, 2012, Red 5 skipped E3 to protest SOPA/Piper. They donated their E3 funds of $50,000 to Mark's new charity called the League for Gamers. 4 days after that, FoxyFighters.com went free-for-all to access, by the way, so he was juggling a few jobs at that point. He was the head of Red 5, running a business as a porn king, his own words, not mine, and head of a not-for-profit. Busy guy. Hope he managed to keep it up and didn't commingle funds or spend time on Foxy Fighters while he was meant to be CEO. I hope there's no track record of him disappearing for weeks at a time.
Sorry, we're back.
I'm busting his balls. On November 12th, 2012, League for Gamers' first tweet directs readers to join an email campaign at leagueforgamers.org. And on Jan 13th, 2013, League for Gamers posts its first and last weekly update at leagueforgamers.org.
Good.
Stop asking this man.
Did I miss anything? Good? Are we good?
For regular updates, by the way. I think it's here. Mark gets a bit busy. He leaves Red 5. I say leave because others claim he was forced out. He makes a statement calling it his Kobayashi Maru, which implies that he left Red 5 of his own volition. I don't think we'll ever know definitively unless someone else on the board makes a statement, and it's the someone else that needs to make the statement, not him. Another year later brings us to March 7th, 2015. League for Gamers posts its first tweet since weekly update, promising a new website. Blessed with more time, I guess. He's a bit less employed than before. We come to August 28th, 2015, and in response to PAX Prime's new dress code, Grummz starts the hashtag PAX Naval Policy to encourage people to post photos of belly buttons. That's a thing he's into.
Don't eat that!
Not judging if that's your thing, I'm just making a note of it because this spins off into the hashtag Navals for Grummz, where he retweets lolicon content. I'm not bringing this up to pedo jacket the man. In fact, I'm just kind of putting the jacket on a seat beside him, and you can decide if it fits. I'm just making a note of it because this spins off into a section exclusively for this stuff right on the League for Gamers website.
Oh my god!
For some reason. This is the part I've been stuck on this whole time. He's real public with the lolicon, but real private with the sexy lesbian cat fights. The human psyche is fascinating, but eventually League for Gamers shuts down. Its website is open sourced on April 3rd, 2017, so
you're trying to eat a headphone.
You too can start your own League for Gamers. My big question about this here, aside from the lolly and gamer content, is the legal status and where that $50K that I mentioned went. The original non-for-profit was dissolved in 2015 by the state of California because documentation wasn't filed in 2013 or 2014. That's a real big pattern there with Mark's businesses, by the way. The man just loves saving trees. However, a second League for Gamers was registered in Delaware about 5 months later by a broker as a for-profit corporation. United States Corporation Agents is an online legal services company who can file these things on your behalf for privacy reasons. The timeline there alone kind of raises that red flag. It's been removed as a not-for-profit in California, but you're obviously still operating the entity, and like I mentioned, you did this interview on December 17th, 2015 with the GG.com confirming your involvement. So that raises a very pertinent question of where did that $50K go? California nonprofits are required by law to publicly disclose how they spend their money. I can't seem to find those publicly disclosed documents that will tell me what that $50K was spent on. League for Gamers was around for a couple of years, so 2 as a not-for-profit, but there was no disclosure. Maybe Red 5 didn't send the money.
Oh my god. He's not just... This man is pointing out inconsistencies with the law. He's literally pulling up law and showing how he broke the law. Where were the disclosure laws? Where was it for the nonprofits? It was not there? He didn't provide a disclosure? Oh my God. The United States tax code requires nonprofits to make the following documents available for public inspection. I guess if you inspect it, you're going to find some things you didn't want to find. One second. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm sorry. My phone was dead. It was dead. And now I have to make sure there's no emergencies. Because sometimes there are emergencies. Okay, no emergencies. We're good.
And just said they did for clout, which is a red flag of its own. But maybe the money was sent and League for Gamers didn't hold up its end of the bargain. It's pretty weird. And speaking of pretty weird, let's talk about tax in the IRS. I found more tax liens. There's the one I spoke about in part 1 from Jan 28th, 2016. For those unaware, our big naval-loving boy is hit with a lien for $260,000 for unpaid taxes for the years 2013 and 2015. He's claimed that no backer money has gone to clear that particular debt, but to be honest, we've established a pattern here where his word isn't worth shit. So,
okay. The recap. Grummz is a gooner who is using the gaming community to raise funds to pay off liens that he owes, and also the liens that he probably owes because he used the money to goon. He didn't even pay the goon tax. He tried to escape taxes. There are two things in life you can't escape: death and taxes. And he tried to evade taxes. Chase, come here. Come here. I gotta tell you about gooners. Come here. Come here. Ugh. Listen, Daddy needs to tell you about gooners, okay? Come here. Okay? You do not want to become a gooner. Ever. Don't ever goon. Goon, never, my son. Okay? Never, my son, never goon. Now go. Live. Okay. So the question though is, yeah, he got the paw drip. He got the little, he got the little cut, little lines cut. So it's like the J's, but for cats. So, I'm sorry. He gooned so much, but did he get in debt because he gooned too much? Or was he in debt? Was his gooning putting him in debt? He kept trying to create Foxy Fighter. Was he ever trying to make money? Like, was he ever trying to like raise an actual legitimate company or thing? Was it through, what I mean is he was using money to funnel. I guess he wanted Foxy Fighter to be like his #1 thing. Like it was supposed to be his bread and butter winner of money making, but there's no way that he could have thought that it could have been at that. It could have been that. To me, I don't think he was actually trying to create anything that would actually have a foundation. I think he just wanted to goon. And he was just extracting money, stealing, pilfering, stealing, fraud, steal, like a drug addict. Drug addicts aren't creating drug empires. They're just on drugs until they die sometimes. Oh my God. This is a tragic tale. This is a tragedy. A victim of the gooning system. What a tragedy. And you think about it, it's pretty sad. Antique, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you, homie. If you guys think about it, this is how I practice empathy, by the way. Stop. You get down. What you doing? You get down. Don't do that. You're going to fall. Okay. So do any of you guys feel sorry for him? Because I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for Grummz. I'm starting to look at him kind of like as a drug addict that just basically stole people's money to just keep fueling his addiction. His porn addiction. I feel bad. It ruined his life. You don't feel bad? So I don't agree with what he did. Am I weird for actually having empathy on that? Like feeling or sympathy? Okay, so like, do you guys ever feel bad for drug addicts that are like stuck on like meth or crack and they can't break their drug addiction? And then by doing so, they steal from the people around them? Oh no. I just hit a trauma. I just hit a nerve. I just realized the person in my family was had a gambling addict. And I never felt sorry for them because they stole from me. So I never felt sorry for them. But here I am showing sympathy for a person that also was an addict. I think pity is the word. But now by pitying Grummz, I'd actually have to pity the person that put me in debt, that hurt me. And I think I do pity them. I think that's a pretty big, wow, damn. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, I got done dirty financially. I got done real dirty. So, man, I do. I feel sympathy. I feel kind of bad for the person who messed me up. I can't have empathy for him? Why not? Is it bad to have empathy for your abuser? Oh no, I don't know about that now. Like, I understand what created the events. It's not something that I agree with. Empathy, I imagine, is like understanding. And sympathy could be feeling sorry for their fate. That their fate led them in that direction. Like, wow, this is how your life came to be. And I became the victim. Damn, that's a fucked up way to go. I don't know. Maybe it's sympathy. Maybe it's empathy. I thought empathy was the word that you used to understand. Whereas sympathy is more so, empathy is when you put yourself in their shoes and see how they operate. Whereas sympathy is like, do you feel bad for the person? You know, so like you guys can put yourself in someone else's shoes and see their walk of life. And if you can do that objectively, then you can empathize. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it. It doesn't mean you have to like it. It does not mean you support it. It just means that you can see it. You can see how it came to be. Yeah, it's understanding. He had a choice and made his choice, so you can't feel bad for him choosing to make all the wrong choices. I feel bad that his life came up to the choices. Let's say that that's a person with drugs. If you have an addiction, some people make bad choices. Maybe they're addicted to food and they keep eating. Stressed, depressed, sad, lonely, XYZ, hurt, abused as a kid, no love, no self-esteem, whatever, right? If you trace it all back, usually if you find yourself in that kind of place of making these really bad choices, evil, sure, maybe, you know, but also survival mechanic of something that now we're going into, I feel like we're going into territory where I'm trying to communicate where I can see where his accumulation of sad choices were created. I had an abuser in my life up until they passed recently. From what I can understand, it looked like this individual had a hell in their head and heart. They were in pain. Yeah. And like not acknowledging, I think, again, I'm touching on stuff. Acknowledging a person who, I'm acknowledging the person that abused me. It's not me giving them power. It's not me giving them an excuse. It's not me doing anything that empowers them. I think what it does is it empowers me to recognize how everything operated. It still doesn't take away the impact, but when you can see more clearly and it fills in the lines, you can have more clarity. You can empathize with how a person got to the place where they got. Some people might want to like argue the concept of good and evil, bad versus, all of that. And it's like, sure, you can tie it to that as well. You can also do both, and you can attach that some people are products of a lot of fucked up shit in their lives, and then they've hurt people. I think that can be true, and it doesn't have to take away. Like, it doesn't make me feel. I think it doesn't make me feel bad to feel sorry for people who've harmed me. Jeez. Sorry, that was really deep. I think I accidentally stumbled into like a I don't know. I think I stumbled into my own trigger and then I evolved from it. Anyway, why does that always happen when I'm on stream with you guys?
So I'm going to also bring up another lien where the IRS came in for a piece with a lien of $839,027, according to a case in the California Superior Courts.
Okay.
Firstly, I'm not even mad, I'm impressed.
A lot of self-realization.
$1 million
here.
in Dodge taxes, insanely well done. You were doing well for yourself.
Thanks, man.
There with your CEO golden parachute. Secondly, can you confirm you've not paid off that lien with backer funds as well? Because that would be something you'd also be shitting and pissing about if the shoe was on the other foot, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, it's hard to focus. I appreciate what y'all are saying. I appreciate the comments. Like, it's it feels good. It feels good. I'm not doing it on purpose either. It's just, I don't know. I think so. Hear me out. I have a hypothesis, but apparently, if you have human interactions with other people and you chat and you talk about self-realization, well, you might actually realize things. And it seems like this is kind of healthy, actually. Are you going to cover the drama around Cliche? I don't even know who that is. It's the payoff? Oh, thanks, Fidel. Oh. I love you, Fidel. Parasocially. That's right. You're at the top of my brain right now. You're at the top of my love chart. How does it feel? How does it feel to be at the top of my love chart right now? It'll change, though. If one of you guys donates more money to me, oh no, then you will be at the top of my love chart.
We've got credible accusations of you mishandling funds at Red 5. Like, this is the bus. There's the pinnacle of that. There's a lot of devs stating you'd go away for weeks and come back and scrap all their work. That's a huge waste of money on just a salary level. MEK Entertainment, which became Voxelnauts, made some very public accusations with lawyers involved as well. How can we be assured you're not doing the same with Ember? And it's not even going to be called Ember because you didn't even register that trademark. Someone else released the game with that name. The cost to register a trademark in California is $70 per classification code, by the way. So you could have secured your game for like, what, $300 on every possible venue that you wanted to put it into at some point in the last decade? How many loans have you taken out against yourself to pay for the art refresh you started a few years ago? You've been making this game for so long that an art refresh is needed before the Kickstarter demo is done. How fucking insane is that? The art pass is still in progress. He hasn't paid it off yet. To make matters worse, he's upgrading to the latest version of Unreal Engine for some reason. Like, that would be a vibe if you were going to take advantage of a major tech upgrade, but you're just doing the same game and hiding the lack of progress by now just showing screenshots on Twitter. Like I said, we're getting water that doesn't fucking work. I think a bit of an Omni shambles at this point, really.
Damn.
We're through the woods, as it were. I want to cover one of Mark's biggest claims to fame. That's his career at Blizzard.
Okay.
I want to take issue with his claim he invented fishing in World of Warcraft.
Okay, I will indulge you. Okay.
But bear with me.
Okay, he's saying, dive with me. Come on a journey. It's a little bit weak, but just kind of dip your toes in the sauce. This is an incomplete thought process that he has here.
He's claimed quite repeatedly that he invented fishing for his wife.
So the other mini games we got in here were things like fishing,
and fishing almost didn't happen. And the reason fishing is in the game at all is because it was a gift to my wife, who loved fishing in Japanese RPGs and really, really wanted fishing in World of Warcraft.
There's no way. You telling me he capped about that? If this man is as of a mistrusting, dishonest, grifting liar that he is, it makes sense if you go backwards that this would also be a lie. Damn. Oh, that's what happens when you get, like, when you're dishonest, because then you just don't know how far to go back. Oh man, guys, always tell the truth. Chat, always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. I know this one is not clarified, but it's not whether or not this is true or false. It's the fact that now you have to question it. Now they have to question everything. People lie. Let's just be clear. People lie. There's not going to be a person who's always telling the truth. But do your best to be as honest as possible. Or find yourself someone that will believe the lie.
And so I went to one of the designers and programmers on the WoW team, and I said, "Hey, look, do you think we could get fishing in the game? It's just on a side project. Can we prototype something? Because I think fishing would be awesome." And they did. They got together a prototype and they showed me, and it was cool. It was fun, and I thought it was, and I was having a great time fishing. And a lot of people just love to sit out there on a pier and fish all day in WoW. And
I've been reading a book called The WoW Diary by John Sartz. John is and was the first 3D level designer on World of Warcraft, so he's been around for a while. Here's his take on fishing in the game. Here's the whole segment. Eric Dodds was the first designer on the team, and he had spent years planning the minimum necessary features and functionality required for the game's crafted equipment.
Okay.
Eric always got the most bang for his buck, and only asked for features or interface elements that could be used in multiple ways. The only outlier in the trade skill system that required special functionality was fishing, but it barely took Sam Lantinga a couple of days to code. So Eric made fishing a click-on-the-bobber minigame requiring human interaction, which would hopefully make it harder for players to automate with hacks. I'm not seeing a Mark Kern there. In fact, when I Control-F Mark through the document, what I get is Mark Kern was the producer in charge of programming tasks. Not really a designer? That's it. I have issue with the way he's been positioning himself as the main source of all that's good in classic WoW.
Oh my god, he never designed? But then how did he become... Wait, this man is debunking his... Oh my... This man's about to go back. Back when Mark was 15, he said he had a Snicker bar. But I have a picture here that shows him with Skittles at this time and date. Like he's hitting them. He's completely dismantling not only what he's been doing with this, but his past too, his entire career. He's dismantling this man's entire life.
This is just a nice example. It's a neat book. I highly recommend it. It is aggressively generous to Mark. John is the only Blizzard employee who's really maintained regular public contact with Mark. So it's like, there's no way you can really claim this is being unfair to him. But I look through it and it's like, yeah, he was in charge of programming. Oh, okay, he hired the right programmers who did the actual work.
Jason Schreier wrote a history of Blizzard book, and he completely erased me from the book because he hates me, because he's a shithead. He's a legacy media shithead. I was the team lead. I saved the project from cancellation. I built the team. I led
It's something I just take issue with, and I just kind of get annoyed at that he's allowed to build this bullshit.
So he's saying that he wasn't being credited properly, and said that this guy was basically manipulating the actual design and creation process of the game. I recently watched what is it called? Black Mirror, and there was an episode that was a sequel to about a guy creating a video game and a company that was creating video games too. So it's kind of like putting me into the world of like, have you guys ever like literally kind of like went into like the understanding Bandersnatch, but it was Magic Mirror. It wasn't Bandersnatch. It was Black Magic, but it was a sequel to like one that had happened in a previous episode. But have you guys ever like sat down, like some of you guys who are programmers or designers, you know exactly what he's talking about. I'm kind of just sitting here and I'm like, ooh, this is my first time inside of the world of a programmer versus a designer versus this versus that, how they make games, how they crowdfund, the politics around it. This is kind of like my first time exploring that kind of mechanic, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. I never really perceived it. Yeah, freaking Black Mirror was ahead of its time. Grummz was the main character of the USS Callister. Oh my god. No, because then he would have actually have to have been a designer. He's worse. He's like, if he was the main character of that guy, he's worse. He's like, if he was the CEO or something of these companies, but he wasn't actually making the game, there was no game to plug into. He was just taking your monies and gooning. What did you miss, James Hoppy? You missed a gooner. Gooning his life away, and someone is exposing his goonery. He gooned. He was a drug addict of porn. He was a porn addict. He had a porn addiction, and he tried to raise as much funds as possible, and he went broke for it. Go woke, go broke, go goon. No more money in your pocket. You know, bars. So that's what happened to him. You know how that one gooner guy drove off and then he died after he got caught gooning? This man might need to be put on watch. You love me when you do. You might have to, because this is man's getting caught. Our man got caught gooning with like just his penis out when he went to a thing. This man's getting caught gooning on a timeline, like a history. This man has to think about this. Someone has created a book that is an hour and a half talking about this man's gooner crimes. Imagine you had a 2-hour video extrapolation of someone exposing your gooning behavior, your gooner crimes. Woo. Do you guys think that some people exist just to be the bad guy? Do you guys think some people want to be the person that people write books about because they're so bad? I think so. They're like, they romanticize villains, and they're like, I want to be that. Trump? Is he? Maybe. I never thought about it because I never wanted to be the villain. Have you ever thought about that? How some of you guys are like good people? Like, sure, good people can do bad things, but some of you actively choose to not be the villain. Like, some of you actively choose to do good versus bad. And you're like, if I do this, I would be a villain. So I think I'll choose not to be, there's $100. That man just dropped $100 out of his pocket. I can just take it and be the villain, or I can walk up and give it to him and be a good guy. And you choose. Hey, here, you drop some money. Wow, thank you. That says a lot about your character. Especially if there was no one to see it and it wasn't performative. It means that doing good things to people makes you feel good. And then you might have an opposite where there's just bad people who exist just to make you feel bad. And it makes them feel good. Oh, man. That's abusive people. Abusive people get dopamine by making people feel bad. Bullies. Their happy meter goes up when someone else's happy meter goes down. It's Undertale genocide route. And like sometimes you don't ever put it into perspective sometimes about the type of person you are and how much drastically like do you guys really sit down and fathom how your brain is so unique and that there's so many types of people out there doing so many types of shit? And you might come from a lens where you're like, there's no way. I came from a lens where I felt like people were innately good, but they just tend to sometimes choose the wrong decisions. I came from a place of there's got to be a little good in everyone because religion, because love, because circumstances. But some people's brains are wired to damage. You know, there are hornets amongst us that don't give back to society and only exist to cause damage. And are there bad people or are they products of their environment? Or both? If your environment was in a bad place, then you are bad. But you can't choose your environment. Can you really choose to be good? Oh no, I feel like I'm going through a tunnel here, guys. I think I'm hitting some things. I think I'm starting to see what Kanye. No, never that. But I feel like I'm going through some tunnels. I was born evil. After seeing Omni's pretty face, I realized there is hope in this world. So you're saying without hope, you can only be evil? Be evil. But have my feelings too. Changed my life with Oprah and Michelangelo. Don't finish what statement? I mean, I feel like no one is innately good or bad. It's how they were raised and how their environment influenced them as well as the path they chose. I feel like there's a lot to do with it. Are bad people created or are they just bad? Are they bad because they were born in the wrong place at the wrong time? Is it their fault that they got that they were exposed to what they got exposed to? As babies, we're crafted, we're created, we're brainwashed. Someone could have raised you to be a psychopathic killer, murderer at 2. At 2. And you could have not been exposed to anything good. No anime that teaches you about morals, no TV that teaches you how to be good. You may have just been trained to be an attack dog. A human attack dog. Sick 'em, boy. That dog didn't have any say in being an attack dog. Oh my God. And the owner is us, the earth, our society, we as people. We are the owners of these future evils. You know how shows talk about how society is what created the evil? You see the evil person, they take off the mask, boom! I'm a victim! I'm a victim of what you created! I didn't have a choice in to say so. I was just trying to survive, and you guys killed me. And then you killed all my friends. And now, I got nothing. But you grow up to be inspired by your environment and learn self-awareness to be better. Do you ever learn self-awareness to be better if you have not been taught the concept of being better? Let's not take for granted how we have been grown. Let's not take it for granted. If you've never been taught to have a moral compass on purpose, then can you think about the concept of being good or better to a person? This is definitely Devil May Cry. I did hit shout outs to the bunny. Right. But what I'm trying to communicate is like, I want you guys to think about this. Imagine you are raised in a way where you do not have exposure to good. You don't have exposure to things that teach you how to be a good person. In fact, you are just quite literally only exposed to things to make you be a bad person. That's what your life is. This is how I operate. I'm supposed to kill niggas. I'm supposed to. There's no other option. There's never been another thing for me. I've never been introduced to it. I've only been raised to. You know how they make those assassins in animes? Those child assassins? They block them out from the outside world and they train them to do one thing and one thing only, and they keep them secluded. It was Killua from Hunter x Hunter. And then Killua finally got introduced to Gon. And he learned, oh shit, I don't have to kill niggas. But without Gon, this man would have just been killing niggas, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he's not evil. He just never got taught. He never got taught good. He got taught that there's consequences to disobeying orders. Like pets. Nature versus nurture. This could be the same with money and wealth. Too many people just simply do not know what to do with it and never exposed to different methods. Oof. Can we teach hornets not to be hateful? I don't know. Yes, but can you find them? And will you survive it? If you go into a hornet's nest, hey everybody, let me teach you about the kindness of pop, 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 pop. Ah! What was that? I don't know. Anyway. Well, Omni, can I ask a question? Yes, ask away. Because I feel like I'm saying some crazy shit right now. I feel like I'm speaking facts. But please tell me if you disagree. Please weaken my argument. Because I feel too strong. I feel too powerful. Why am I always right? Fuck. I'm cooking? Yes. Let this echo. Please continue to validate me. Even if I'm wrong, lie for me so other people can be gaslighted. I need you to gaslight anybody who... Stop gaslighting me. Gaslight everyone around you so we can create one sentient being, okay? Come on. One of us. Do you think that humans have instincts to do better? Just naturally, even given your circumstances? To do better. Again, what is the concept of better? To do better. Do better. Do better. Is that a moral thing? That's morality. You can choose to be better, to choose to do worse, but you have to know what better is and what worse is. When it comes to like humankind and animal instincts, better or worse was just only things that made you live longer or die. That's what better or worse was for the animal kingdom originally. Without the moral compass, will I live longer and survive? Better. Will I die? Worse. And then we say, no. What sets us apart from the animals is that we can do better than that. We can do better than that, which means we have done better than that, which means humans can do better. What do you guys think about that answer? humans do better because we do better? Or are we even doing better? What if our evolution was a de-evolution? What if what we consider is evolution is regression? What if at our most natural states and human instincts, we would have not killed the earth and coexisted? Is this what villains be thinking? Reset everything to 0. Remove society. I'm becoming no, Thanos kept half of society. I'm talking about like Ultron. Was Ultron right? Did we need to like uproot society and reset everything because we're killing the planet? Have all the villains of Final Fantasy, have they always actually been secretly been the saviors? Good versus evil. Is eradicating humanity really? All right, let's stop. Be careful. All right, guys. I might free your mind a little bit too much. All right. I'm joking. This is a part of the place where this is called joking. I'm traveling down the mind of people who think this way, but don't get comfortable with it. There are flaws. All right. I'm purposely allowing us to navigate it, but don't be like, damn, I already got a point. Niggas gotta go. Niggas gotta go. About to build my first nuclear reactor. I'm about to end this earth. Thanks, Omni. It's over. It's all thanks to you, nigga. You made me see the light. Don't be that, okay? Don't fall for my jutsu. Okay? The problem is that I'm very powerful. I'm very convincing. I'm great. I'm an influencer. And I mean that in the literal sense. I might actually influence somebody to think things. I gotta be careful. Cause some of you niggas are dumb as hell. Listen, some of you niggas will not be able to see through my parody. And then you're gonna be like, fuck, this nigga Omni told me bring down everything. Don't do it. Too late? You made the world's worst supervillain? No! I guess I gotta start a GoFundMe. Yup. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe and raise $500,000, a non-profit to stop bad people. Nobody care about me, big bro? Damn. Am I putting myself too high up on the in terms of like my influencer levels? I realize you guys probably don't come to me for advice. You probably just come to me to be entertained. I'm a fucking clown. But clowns and jesters of the world have also been known to be the wisest in history because they tell the truth through a veil of comedy. You ever wonder how much of what I'm saying is a joke and how much of it is not? Have you ever wondered, damn, I know Omni's joking about this shit. He don't feel that, but what if I did? What if I did? What if it wasn't a joke? What if I've been preaching to you niggas through the nope? What if y'all been getting gaslighted? Gaslighted! What if I was that mastermind? I've been playing 4D chess. No, I can't. I just have ADHD. And my brain is just basically going backwards into the mind of those kinds of people. And I'm connecting the dots. To be honest, I'm connecting the dots. When I talk with you guys, it's so weird. Okay? Sometimes I feel like I something happens to my brain, and then I start connecting dots like crazy. Like I feel like it's not like a high. It feels like a high. But it feels like something's happening in my brain chemistry where I'm just like, bro, if I keep talking to someone and I keep navigating through subjects and self-realization, I'm surfing the web of my mind right now. Have you guys thought about surfing the web of your own brain? Wow. Have you ever even realized that your brain is a world? You can dive into your brain the same way you dive into this world. And I don't mean that don't mean that figuratively. I mean it literally. Literally, you can close your eyes and stop and ignore the outside world, and you can just navigate and then not only can you navigate your world, you can shape it. You know, like how in dreams you can make yourself fly? That's what you be doing in your brain. You can shape it. It is dangerous because you could create a world and you can destroy a world. That we are so powerful that we can destroy ourselves by thinking. You can also make yourself a thinking. If you realize how powerful you are that you can destroy yourselves with thinking, then that means imagine how much you can do to create. Scary. With great power comes great responsibility. Chat. Don't ignore what I'm saying. Hits blunt. I should hit a blunt. I should. If this is me without it, imagine me with it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I might go like super Saiyan. I might become bigger than Socrates and Plato combined. I don't have power. It's not about power. It's that I'm recognizing. Listen, Chad. I am humble. I am but a humble servant. But I'm spitting. I feel like if you follow what I'm saying, it has value. It's too early to have ADHD and get high. I never thought about like choosing my highs. I don't really get high very often. Like I actually don't do drugs. I've never been a person to do drugs or drink. I've been like a person who only exercises. I get my highs through exercise and I don't know, pursuing my dreams and passions. That's what kind of it's been creates my highs. But never really a drug guy. And then when I tried it, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it though often because I don't want it has negative effects and I'm very, very conscious of my health, long-term health. I'm a very strong person in terms of that I can see the longevity of taking care of my health. Is this stream Omni accidentally starts a cult? Accidentally. I just been playing the long game, baby. I just been playing the long game. I've been grifting since the beginning. This is now the real me. I'm like, all right. Time to control. Got enough favor. Enough people believe me. Enough people think I'm a good guy. All right. Time to assemble. You don't do drugs because it's addictive? So it's interesting, right? You don't do drugs because you're addictive. Because it's addictive. But also, you probably have addictions that you're not breaking right now, don't you? You ever wonder why we don't break our addictions? Have you ever thought about that? You ever been felt like I'm okay with having this addiction? I'm okay with it. You ever think about that? The good almost always outweighs the con of breaking a certain addiction. Almost always is a net positive. If you have something that you're addicted to and you break it, it will almost always have a net positive, greater experience for your life. But it will create a discomfort and a withdrawal period. And then once the addiction is truly broken, you will be in a better place. But because you cannot see past that short term, now we're talking about Grummz. He had a porn addiction. He could not see anything long term. Addiction is not synonymous with drugs. No, not all drugs are addictive. If weed is as addictive as cookies, that's bad. Because sugar is the biggest drug of them all. Sugar is crazy. Sugar is fucking crazy. Sugar and caffeine are crazy. I don't even know if weed is more addictive than sugar. I don't know it. That's actually interesting to think about. Because sugar is addictive. And sugar kills you. Like, it gives you diabetes. Like, you ever think about that? Sugar kills you and is legal. Now, does weed kill you? I think weed can kill you in a way where it can kill you, like, there's things that it can do to, I mean, I don't know the details of weed and the ramifications of long-term use. I think weed might kill society. I think it'll make people more peaceful, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like to have a society where people normalized weed. But you cannot drive. It would make you impaired. That's for a fact. It would have a very, very huge, it would change how society is run. I wonder if there are some societies that are literally built and created in a way because they just did more weed than other countries. Like when you go to a country and it's much more laid back, or those niggas just always high. They're just like, yeah. They normalized weed, so now they have a different culture. It's not criminalized. Sorry, I might be talking. I might accidentally be spilling too many secrets. I gotta be careful. I'm sorry. I might make the wrong people. You don't want to fuck with the sugar industry. I apologize. I'm not exposing it. I fuck with sugar. Sugar's the best thing. I love sugar. Don't worry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sugar guys. I do not want the sugar mafia coming after me. Do you guys think there's a sugar mafia? I think there's a sugar mafia. If you're their boss, I would like to work for the sugar mafia. That sounds like a very, very well-paying job. I like to commit some evil. Think about the parents that be drinking in front of kids. It's normal, right? What if that was weed? Probably has a solid effect. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's finish. Let's finish Gooning Mafia. Sorry. We did a tangent, another tangent. But again, these tangents are still connected to Grummz. Addiction. Addiction. Addiction.
Bullshit into clout where he's scamming people for
it's all connected.
$2 million.
ADHD wise, if you have the ADHD brain, it'll connect.
To the end here, so I want to talk about where some of this info came from. I saw some people upset I didn't credit some YouTubers for some reason, like McDizzle, Upper Echelon, Nasmia9. McDizzle and I were both aware of this info being pulled. I wasn't operating under the assumption I had to credit him for stuff that I was showing him and he was showing us. I'd recommend checking his stuff out if you're desperate for more Grummz lore. Nasmia9's done some really good work digging into the financials of Mark. His content is worth checking out even if you don't want to look.
I think it's helpful that if you do an investigation that you source your materials. I think a part of Grummz's situation was like he felt like he got written out of history for Blizzard. That's what he said, if he was true for or not. So, hey, this guy might feel like, wait, damn, I wasn't a part of the investigation. You didn't write me into the history of how you found this stuff. So, okay, a little self-awareness. But glad that he's doing, that's a fair thing to not source.
At Gamer Grift stuff, he does really good content. Speaking of sources, the initial timeline spreadsheet in part 1 came together from about 4 days total, all from publicly available state and federal government sources, places like archive.org and the Wayback Machine, a lot of which we archived ourselves because there was nothing archived.
Oh, so
Mark
he created
actively deleted most of his Foxy.
So he is the source. Why would I source when I am the source of the things that I'm, but then would you have the source that you source from?
Fighter stuff in a panic. He just kind of let it all sit out there for some reason, because as shown in the timeline, he keeps going back to
Does a source ever have a source? If that source can be sourced back to another source, isn't the concept of a source a paradox? There is no source. Every source has a source. There is no original source. Even the original source sources back to the person in question. The word source and its definition is a paradox. No, sourcing doesn't mean the actual thing. Sourcing is like tracing. The source means what is the thing that goes back behind it. That doesn't mean that's what source is. What is the thing that goes back behind it? Okay. See, you see how I can go off on a crazy dang and it's not true? The source is what's the thing that goes directly behind it? Where's your source? What proves this? Everything is a source. But I was thinking of source as in a worldly way. I was thinking of source though, like if you say that's the source, it's just interesting that all sources have sources. I'm not getting lost in the sauce. I'm on point. I'm on point. I'm on point. Do you guys see how everything's connected? Every source has a source, has a source, has a source, has a source, has a source. We're all connected. We're all connected. One is all is one.
Baby-chan like a comfort anime. There's claims from Mark that even possessing his plaintext password is illegal, and I'll be frank, I've never seen the full password dump that Grummz is mad about. I saw a single screenshot that showed that Grummz and Foxy Fighters shared a password. I went to a reverse whois search, checked the Foxy Fighter history, and saw his name there. Also, the Foxy Fighter email address shows up on his $11 background check. Those companies are fucking scary.
Damn.
In the glorious United States of America, the First Amendment protects the publication of truthful information received from a human source, which is the case here. Even if it wasn't, it's lucky there was a case in 2001 called Bartnicki v. Vopper, the Supreme Court rule that doesn't matter if the source was obtained unlawfully as long as the publisher did not participate in the illegal action and merely received the information from the source. So people keep threatening to sick Cash Patel on me. That's pretty funny. The man looks like he's just seen a Scooby-Doo ghost. Anyway, when you have credible tax dodging allegations, why are you threatening to go to the cops?
And this is why I'm filing a report with the FBI.
Here is what I think is going to happen. Mark is going to find one piece of this video he can prove I got wrong. He'll claim the $50K for League for Gamers was not donated.
Oh, he's going to pull a Billy Mitchell? Oh no. Oh no. Is this man about to get Carl Jobsted? He's about to use the legal system and raise funds to sue this dude for one claim of defamation and then use that win to goon more. Trying to file this video to the FBI is dumb. It is dumb. It is dumb. You're right. You're right. That means that they would have to. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. That doesn't make any sense. If this man, this whole thing is an expose, you can't be like, hey, look, in this expose of everything that happened to me, he got one thing wrong. Like, nigga, what about everything else? Did he defame you? Legally? Maybe. But legally, you have done, he might try to take him down with him. Like, you might have defamed me and did something illegal. One little illegal thing, ooh man, one little illegal thing to pull the thing that you did was illegal. That can destroy everything. Damn.
In cash, but in labor. All public League of Gamers activity seem to have come from Red 5 employees. So would that not then make him a liar, saying he's donated money multiple times? Anyway, it'll be something like that. One piece of the video is wrong, therefore all of it is wrong. I do want to clarify that this has been presenting public information as best
I've been drinking nothing.
Both parts of this video have both been about presenting public information. That itself isn't wrong. This speculation is all done in earnest. I'm not just making stuff up. Any gaps in accuracy are due to him actually purging information from the internet before it could be validated. So from there, he will attack the messenger. He called us an SJW of the left. He's going to reverse the victim and offender here, right? He's the victim. The wokies are attacking him. They're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way.
Damn.
I am genuinely, unflinchingly happy to be proven wrong about these points. As it stands, there are genuine, honest concerns that Mark is committing fraud. He is a chronic and habitual liar who will do anything under the sun to whip people into a frenzy so they stay angry and they keep liking and subscribing to him and giving him money. I think anyone who takes crowdfunded money for close to a decade deserves this level of scrutiny. Now, to his credit, Mark says the culture war is winding down, and I'm gonna make him a deal. I have a list. I'm blatantly taking this one from Nasmin9. Grummz has refused to answer quite a few questions. Do you deny the allegations you misappropriated funds for Voxelnauts, funneling it to your family and friends? With that accusation on you, do you see the highly suspect nature of a tax lien of $265,000 levied against you in January 2016 and your first crowdfunding, with intentions of many more, being June 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Can you prove that you did not spend your backers' money on the tax lien or any other past debts? Your word is not enough on this.
Yeah, can you show some receipts?
Let's add the federal tax lien to that one. Milli plus.
Just show the receipts.
Why did you go radio silent on backers for 2 years, only coming back when they were about to pull their subscriptions with the reasoning your family was sick?
To be honest, okay, so if he is able to do that, which you can do, you can go back and prove. I mean, I guess he may feel like he doesn't have to prove anything if he's wrong, but you could prove it. You could say, yes, here's the evidence. Here's the money. It came out of the account. The money went from my account to my bank account. And then from my bank account, here are my expenditures. I've been doing everything above board. I have been trying to make this game. He could do it if it was true. If it was true, he could prove it. But he won't because he can't. You know what I'm saying? Or is that a fallacy that I'm thinking of? If what this claim is occurring is true, then he has a way to prove himself. But since he's not proving himself, it's because he's guilty. Ego and pride? I don't know. I think this nigga did it. I think that's what it is. I think this nigga is hiding. He's hiding. He's always hiding. He's got an account called Foxy something. This man is not, he is always, based on all of this, he's hiding, he's lying, he's deceiving. So of course there's going to be some deception in his bank accounts. You don't want to expose that? Because if literally, if I could make this whole thing go away, like if I'm Grummz, I'm like, guys, I'm sad that it came to this. Boom. Slam dunk. And yes, I'm suing this man for everything because everything he said is wrong. Here's the receipts and evidence. I'm countersuing. That's what he could do if it's true. But he cannot. Or he would countersue himself. He would countersue and say that everything is wrong and here's all the receipts. We'll see.
You not update the backers about this from the very start? Why does it take you a year to release one update from the demo, the contents of which is what any other solo indie dev can achieve in a fraction of the time? And I'm going to add one onto the end. Can you address the allegations about misappropriation of funds as the head of League for Gamers? Because as it stands, I'm seeing, a few crimes done there. Answer those, log off and release your game. I know it's hard. You had a no 0 days channel in the Discord that rapidly turned into mostly 0 days. You tried to move the entire community back to x.com, only back to Discord. You took 2 years past the due date to even get it to a playable state. In 5 years, it's barely improved. To top it off, you took the forums down 6 months ago.
This man creates debts. He's a net negative for everything. He does not make money. He does not create. He takes funds and he goons because he has a porn addiction.
More than 6 months ago, you promised they'd be back up soon. We're still not ready for a Kickstarter. You're going so far as to build consent for not running a Kickstarter in your most recent chief chat that I listened to. There are a few things that piss me off more. As a capital G gamer, I have been playing video games my whole life. Then someone scamming people in a crowdfunded game. If Mark wasn't squeaky clean, this video wouldn't exist and I'd just be on Twitter or Blue Sky calling him a sad lolicon pervert and ignoring him. Many people would be too. For those listening, if you're wanting to just move on from all this, I don't blame you. I'm going to after this. People in Mark's position pay their bills from this.
Someone who is taking money from people for a game that is never realistically going to be finished should stop trying to tell anyone else how to do anything in gaming. Fucking men. Which makes me believe that there's a lot of people who are only here to grift. If you are a gamer and you believe and you are a true gamer, like you love gaming and you love the gaming community and you support this man, you're supporting someone that's tried to steal from you, who's tried to use you. He's pretending to be you so that he can take your money. The culture war is all about false actors trying to take. It's always about fucking money, man. Oh, man. It's always about money. It's always about money. At the end of the day, it's always about money. Money is truly the root.
Attention. They want cheap YouTube views and they want the X.com blue checkmark dollars. It comes from you being angry and them keeping you angry. I'm not telling people to not criticize games. Far from it. Assassin's Creed Shadows fucking sucked. Not because it nebulously woke. It sucked because it was just the same Ubisoft bullshit for the 4th game in a row. I and many others would respect your opinions more if you complained about how games cost $20 more than they used to for slightly shinier graphics. That if you complain that they take a year and a half long.
Even when he has an opinion that vaguely aligns with mine, it's such an obvious negative because he actively siphons all energy from that moment to perpetuate his scam.
Longer than they used to and ended up with 3 times the bugs. If you complain that AAA studios are just reheating the same stuff with endless remakes, how many versions of Skyrim are there now? By the time between I made part 1 of this video and now, they've made a woke Oblivion remake. I think a bunch of people, some of you watching them right now, have let yourselves be negatively polarized in your own hug boxes so you don't actually enjoy video games anymore, and you have to wait for permission from your favorite blorbo rage-baiting YouTuber to play it.
Oh my god!
Is Marvel Rivals woke? These people cry as they transvestigate Emma Frost. Like,
are y'all? Oh, now he's attacking the whole culture. Oh, fuck! my god! Wait a minute, that's crazy, dog. That's crazy, dog. That's crazy, dog. Wait a minute, bro. This man might be Socrates.
Now, have let yourselves be negative of part 1 of this video, and now they've made a woke Oblivion remake. I think a bunch of people, some of you watching them right now, have let yourselves be negatively polarized in your own hug boxes so you don't actually enjoy video games anymore, and you have to wait for permission from your favorite blorbo rage-baiting YouTuber to play it. Like, is Marvel Rivals woke? These people cry as they transvestigate Emma Frost. Like, it must be fucking torture to be this eternally miserable with every game release.
Oh my god! Damn, bro! They said, imagine you just not playing the game for yourself and seeing if you like it or not. You have to be told if you will like a game or not. You have to be told if you can like something. I'm about to follow this nigga on Twitter. I'm about to follow this nigga on Twitter now. After that bar, I don't really follow a lot of people. But after that, oh my God. Oh, where is he? Can't find him. Joined April 2025. I don't know if that's him or not. I don't know. But if I find him, I will follow.
Getting that angry all the time over a woman with a side shave and a slightly too angular jaw. And it's that part there. Like, please do your own research about some of these topics. Come to your own conclusions. Don't let people whose entire
promoting free speech,
incomes and popularity
independent thought,
come off the controversy they're selling you, telling you how to feel and act. I guarantee your life will be much happier if you approach things a bit more constructively, instead of letting a man who has not released a commercially successful game in 20 years tell you what to be mad about.
Don't do that.
Find
don't tell
cool
people.
Indie game with a unique premise. Try.
Okay, so look. Do not free the minds. There will be resistance. Okay, people have come here to be told what to do. These niggas are not looking for the truth. They're just looking for someone to tell them what to do. Isn't that scary? They don't want to think for themselves. They just want to be told what to think. Well, this person tells me what to think. This person thinks this, and because they think it, can you imagine that? This person thinks this, and because they think it, then I'm going to think it. I'm not going to go through the actual effort of creating self-thought. I'm just going to take someone else's thought and just copy and paste it. You didn't even try to navigate. You see how dangerous that is to just literally only steal someone else's thought without you actually, you're just mimicking yourself. Now you're just turning your brain and your reality into what someone else is saying it is. I remember I was raised being told, be a leader, not a follower. But in my late teens, I was like, dog, some people just want to follow most of the time. You know, I think following is a part of human nature. It's got to be. You literally have to follow how the people around you do the things that they do so that you can coexist. So I think following is not inherently bad. I think what happens is when you follow, but you don't try to practice self-independent thought at the same time. You don't try to gauge it yourself while also, you don't try to see how they got it And then also you try to connect the dots of what you think as well. You just like, well, it's been said. Herd mentality is how religion is quite literally forced into us. It's brainwashing. Because they dissuade you from questioning. I've been dissuaded from questioning as a kid. They dissuade you from questioning so that they can copy and paste your brain more and more. The less you question, the more copy and pasteable your brain is. Damn. And it's not even their fault. I questioned everything too, but you guys say it's because I have ADHD. You guys are like, it's just Omni's ADHD, questioning everything around him, always questioning a thought, if that thought is certain or not. That nigga's just got the tism. But maybe having the tism and ADHD is us being the superior. Cause I bet you Bezos got it. I bet you Mark Zuck got it. To be a good leader, you have to have ADHD. I agree, Norwell. I agree. Herd mentality is a word I've been hearing more and more over the years. Herd mentality is growing because the internet is growing. The introduction of the internet has allowed people to sheep social media, TV, news. That's why information is so powerful. Okay? You know how they talk on shows how information is the most powerful resource of all time? Because you can control narratives, the truth, history. There are people out here who are fighting to control history and the narrative every single day, trying to expose what's actually happening versus what people are saying is happening. That's going to be written up in a history book that's going to be based off someone's perception. And there's a lot of people who are living in the now who are trying to get the truth out there so that they don't get left in the past. Do you guys see how that works on a big scale? How if you understand history, how it was formed and how it was created and how it was manipulated, how people control narratives, how people control people, how then you end up fitting in that cog and how society has been created from that cog and then how you're going to respond to it. Again, guys, shit, I might be saying too much. I need to calm down because this is a lot of free thought. And I'm pretty sure there's a free thought police somewhere. You are opening way too many fucking eyes. No, I know they're facts, but these are not facts that some certain people wants to be spread. Okay, these are not. There are some niggas who want the Matrix. There are some Agent Smiths. This nigga is telling the truth. Too many truths. He has seen too much. That's what Cat Williams was about. That's what Cat Williams is this. I am literally channeling my inner Cat Williams. I'm letting you guys know I have seen way too much. And you can either believe it or don't. At your own peril. But best believe it's madness. It's madness. Anyway, sorry, another wow, let me fuck your mind a little bit, some more truths.
And if it's good, tell the dev they're doing a good job. You have statistically 25 games in your Steam library from those Humble Bundles 5 years ago. Go play those. Just try and enjoy something for once. Try and actually get genuine enjoyment instead of looking at a trailer and going, it must be woke. There's a lightly brown woman in there.
Brown!
Buddy, I'm playing shit on itch.io you've never heard of, and I'm having a great fucking time. It rules.
Why are white men so afraid of black women? Don't white men secretly love black women? They just don't say it. Isn't that a thing? Like, imagine being like, oh, she's black. Ah! But you're a man first. and you want to stick your pee-pee in that. So you're a man first. That one's going to take over. Don't be afraid. A black queen will change your life. You ever seen a white man with a black woman? That nigga is the most woke man of all. He is literally, he sees the entire, ain't nothing more woke than a white man who loves black women. That might be the top. That might be the ultimate ship. Bill Burr. It might be the ultimate ship. You know how they have like Naruto and Sasuke and Hinata, the ships. Black women and white men might be the peak. Can't nobody touch Bill. Bill been spitting. He been spitting. Watch out for white niggas who have black. And when I say black women too, I'm not talking about the black women who have been already been indoctrinated. I'm talking about the self-independent thought black woman. Most powerful and terrifying creature in the world, and that's why they keep them suppressed.
The alternative is, because a bunch of you are typing in the comments angrily right now, don't do that. I'm not your dad, you don't owe me anything, and you don't need to take advice from a woke leftist soy boy.
I'm your dad, and you should copy and paste all my thoughts into your brain. And if I say it enough, you'll start to do it.
You are welcome to ignore me entirely. It's up to you, dog. The important part here is that you make your own decisions and come to your own conclusions. I won't be making another video about this dude unless he does something horrendously fucking stupid. He fucking sucks. Stay subscribed to me if you want. I'm going to be making cool videos about other parts of the internet. I'm almost done with a complete history of 4chan and its ancestors going back to 1995. And some of the episodes from my podcast I'm going to do into like proper YouTube video stuff. So,
okay, cool.
Namaste. Have a nice day. Justice for Mad Dog.
This is my struggle.
Justice for Mad Dog.
You sit there on your couch.
Is it the hashtag Justice for Mad Dog? I can get behind that.
Watching reruns of
For a record, sex work is fine with me. Let 1,000 blossoms bloom in the garden of goonery. A lot of you saw Puritanism where there wasn't any.
The View. You always talk about yourself. You've got Ayn Rand books on your shelf. Nobody can stand you but you.
It's a pretty good song. Part 1 was honestly most a factual timeline video and a bit of me calling him a pervert because he is.
You lose it at a small correction and you steal your wireless net connection and your house smells like a zoo.
Damn. The reason you saw me keep hammering on the weird catfish stuff is because he's done it for decades.
I said just grow up and be a man. You're like Reed and Peter Pan, but you're way too fat to fly.
Damn! Did he write this song? Because this song is bars too.
Peter Pan, but you're way
There's also one games journal org that are walking around calling this TMZ shit.
too fat to fly because you literally got
I know it is, but you don't get to do that and also have staff members complaining I don't give them the scoop. You aren't the sole arbiters of what people care about and don't get to talk if you're not going to get dirty digging. Anyway, let's all stop giving this loser attention and air. Well, you heard the guy. Let's stop giving him an attention and air. Chat, what do you think? What's the verdict? That's the video. What's the verdict? Since you guys are the judge, jury, you're the judge and jury, chat. You are the people. Collectively, you get to decide the fate. Collectively, it's all about you. And I'm just a person that can create a small collection. But if you guys collect together, that's all about you. Freak of the week, he's guilty. Comes as a super gooning villain, is my verdict. You said, boom, 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 boom. I like the thing with you. Boom. Man was gooning. I'm gonna subscribe to this MYLP dude. The verdict is do not come. Do not come. Do not come. And Grummz was like, I'm gonna come. Oh, that's the moral of the story. That's the moral of the story. This is the moral of the story.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
It's like, stop it.